Hi, happy Valentine's Day. I'm Denise Dryden here to help you navigate a little bit, maybe give you some tips, give you some ideas. And I didn't do a video on Sunday because it was my daughter and son-in-law's anniversary, and I was taking care of the 2-year-old. And there's no way you can do a video on Sunday with a 2-year-old in the house, right? So, then I thought, well, maybe Sunday afternoon. No. Monday, still, I was wiped out. There is no way. It was a lot of fun, and that's a lot of energy to take care of. And maybe I'll just let go of it for the week. And then this idea dropped in while I was driving today, and it was hilarious. It was like, get home, write this down, and then turn on the camera. Right. So this is impromptu. It's on a different date than it's ever been, and I could sort of say I'm proud of myself for being flexible because this is something I don't generally do. So let's talk about hyper independence and Valentine's Day. Sort of this hyper independence of how we can take care of ourselves and not need anything, and this celebration of love and romance and relationships. And sometimes they work together and sometimes they don't, right? So, Valentine's Day, my little spiel always is going to be like it's a Hallmark celebration. It's where the industries get together and they sell a lot of greeting cards, flowers, chocolates, and restaurants book really big, expensive celebrations. And you're supposed to get all dressed up and sit there and stare googly eyes into each other's eyes and see what happens or celebrate your love. And my experience was that it's a little awkward and it's not individualized and it isn't exactly what I like to do to celebrate love. So, I started to break down, I wonder how it must be for other people. And they came up with this idea of hyper independence. And, if you spend any time on Instagram, at least within my algorithms, it seems like this trauma information is up. So, hyper independence is a trauma response to being let down or hurt or actually have your trust broken by others. It means that I am so independent that I'm not going to ask for help. Right? I'm going to do it all myself. I'm not going to, I might need help and I don't ask because I don't want anybody to know that I don't know how to do it or that I can't do it by myself. Even when it's required not to ask for help, to not need anybody. And so what we see a lot is women, women being hyper vigilant about independence, which is a trauma response, which is characteristically deep within our familial systems, our ancestral lineages, which is women have been traumatized and hurt throughout history. Women who are carriers of, in most parts, the feminine energies, and at the same time, as a gender, as a sex, identified as those who can be eliminated or punished. So what happens is we have this trauma running in our bodies almost at all times. If I show that I'm intuitive, if I show that my feminine comes to the surface, or if I soften and I allow myself to be nurtured and I show some of these signs of the feminine qualities coming out in me, I am hurt. I am accused, historically, of witchcraft, of sorcery, of things that don't align with the patriarchal culture. So we have this celebration of love where we want to be able to hold and nurture and love one another. And we have this trauma playing. And I'm not saying it's just in women because it is in our familial lineage. So any time that we go towards our feminine energy, which is different than being female, it is the energy system of intuition, of feelings, of emotion, of energy, then that has been under duress, under persecution for hundreds, if not thousands of years, right? So it's difficult to let down the guard and trust and to allow Valentine's Day where you say, "Oh, I'm just going to be all soft and nurturing and let you love on me," when that isn't our experience, right? So we pair hyperindependence with this um, this idea that the roles of women have been challenging in the last 100 years. Now, if you read the Indigo Assignment, the book I wrote came out last May or May, you might notice that there's this entire list of things that happen to us when we are highly independent, and it is deeply embedded in the Gen X generation. And so, within part one, there's just list after list of the traits of what happened to us as children, what may have caused trauma, what we physically experience, energetically experience, what we have, to offer, and where it's stinted, right? So I would suggest that you take a look at this, because what we're noticing is that we have this growing desire um, within our female history, starting in the 60s, 50s. Well, I'm going to go back as early as 50s because it was post World War II, 60s, 70s, and 80s, where women went into the workforce. Women started to go to college to get degrees. Women started to exert themselves. So women started taking care of everything. And men were like, wow, she can work full time and run the house and watch the kids, right? Which is a trauma response, which is I don't know how to ask for help and I don't know what to do. So there's this high productivity and this inability to ask for help as we are redefining ourselves as women in a culture that's trying to rebalance masculine and feminine, right? So there's this survival mode going on, and it's really interesting because it shows up very specifically within the Gen X generation, right? So then let's take a look at. I can talk forever, right? Historically about Valentine's Day and about hyper independence, but there's some other pieces that are at play right now. This, February 14th, 2023, right? Number one, astrological patterns are huge. Jupiter's in alignment at this point. Venus is in alignment, and Orion Nebula is in alignment. Now, what that really means is that Jupiter's an expander. Jupiter's going to get in and blow things up and expand them and make them bigger so that you can't ignore them. Venus is the energy of love. It's the vibration of love. It's the energy that resides primarily within the crystal generation, those who were born 89 forward, who have what we're going to call neurodiversity, multidimensional approaches to life, right? So Venus is blowing up this vibration of love in the heart. And what's happening is the solar flares are pummeling us at the same time. So these solar flares are hitting us with light codes, which is really what's happening, is they're coming through the central sun, through our solar system, through our sun as light codes, and they're clearing out our pineal gland, our pituitary glands, so that we can become receivers of information. So our energetic antennas, which I've talked about several times as Chiron, is sort of up there being cleared so that we can bring information in. And then these astrological patterns are saying, we're going to expand and bring information into you through Jupiter, and we're going to bring it in vibrationally through Orion, through Venus. And what's happening is we're getting clear perceptions of the truth. Our karmic relationships, our lifetime cycles are being expanded and blown apart. So these old patterns that exist between men and women, between human and human, in relationship, in patterns of how we've duplicated over centuries, is being blown apart. So we're celebrating the day of love and coming together, and our nervous system is being pummeled, and we're a wreck, and we're not feeling like connecting to others. We don't know what's going on within ourselves yet first, let alone how to take care of somebody else. And whether it's our partner, whether it's our children, whether it's our parents, what we do to celebrate love on Valentine's Day is connected to an overwhelmed nervous system right now. Make sense? Phew, I mean, it's huge. And so there's this desire to isolate and avoid, which is what happens when we've grown up as children going like, I don't know who to depend on. I'm the one who knows how to do this only. So I don't even know how to reach out for help. So we have hyper independence going on. We have isolation. We have avoidance. We have nervous systems agitating our high levels of sensitivity. How you doing? Because to me, what I'm noticing is I thought it was just exhaustion from taking care of a 2-year-old, but it's not leaving. And I think I was tired going in. And I think I had a wonderful time bonding and connecting with her. And I can't seem to get my energy back. And that tells me it isn't what I think it is. It's external. There's something going on out there. So that's why I wanted to get in here today and talk to you specifically and say, what else are you noticing? This is what I'm seeing. So I have 5 tips for you today, and I want to go through those and see, what comes up for you, okay? And if there are other tips, feel free to put some comments down there. Make sure you like or subscribe in here because I think what I love to do more than anything is turn on this camera and talk to each of you. I noticed that I scan all week long, sort of looking for the topic, waiting for it to land, and then I get in there. So this is something I love to do, and I'd love to do more of it. So the more likes and shares and subscriptions I get, the easier it is to just spend more time on this. So thank you. Tips number 5, or 5 of them total. Number 1, I think the most important thing to do today, this week, this month, the month of February, and maybe even going into the middle of March. So maybe we're looking at 4 to 6 weeks. If we put January in there, 8 weeks, is go to the heart, breathe, balance yourself. Go to the heart, feel your heart, and expand it. Expand your heart, expand your vibration, expand your field, because the more that you can do to keep it internal and to let go of external expectations and all that static around here, Super Bowl, uh, UFO sightings, explosions, the Epstein files being released. These are all things that are just huge coming in. The best thing we can do is go to our heart, identify with our breath, stay present into our breath, and expand our heart into our field until we can feel some peace. It's the most important thing that we can do. This is not selfish. This is how we take care of self. This is how our self knowledge, our self awareness, our self skills start. Okay. Number 2, celebrate you today. Whether it's go down to the local bakery and get yourself a chocolate croissant, or have a girlfriend, sit down with you, or a creamy coffee, or whatever it is that you want, right? Nurture yourself, love yourself, celebrate you, because you're the only one who can give the love to you that you need. Yes, we can hope that our partners, that our children, that our colleagues, that our best friends will, call us and tell us how much they love us on Valentine's Day, but that doesn't really matter, because what we want to do is we want to know that we love ourselves, that we put ourselves first, that we are calm and we are open and we are nurturing to ourselves, and we know how to find our heart. We know how to breathe. We know how to expand. We know how to take ourselves out for a walk or take a bath, or, go do something that we love to do, because you need attention from you right now. It's the most important thing. So number 2, celebrate you. Above and beyond this marketing ploy of Valentine's Day, celebrate you today and every day in February. Number 3, when you connect to another or to others, beam your heart open and honor that connection. If we connect from our head, how are we going to do? I wonder what's going on. It's not a connection. What we do is we drop into our heart and we honor the connection, not the actions. Doesn't matter what that person does. It's whether or not they can meet me in the vibration of my heart, and do I feel comfortable? Do I feel able to relax and let down my guard? And so what we have to do first is realize that it starts with us inside and we expand it out, and then those others can meet us there, and they either relax and they sit down into it with us, right? Or they push it away and they do what we're used to having done, which is they reject us, right? So what we really want to know, and it's not that we're on a path to seek out, am I being rejected? It's mostly that the only thing we can do is connect. We can connect and honor from our heart first. And so this is where we connect and we love and we nurture, and we find out who shows up. Number 4 is to balance the masculine and feminine energies. Masculine is action, doing. Feminine is feelings, being, and energy, right? So treat both with tenderness. Notice that actions were that, yes, someone took some action and they're willing to give you something or do something for you during Valentine's Day or during this month where they're showing love, right? And then bring the tenderness into it and recognize what the effort that must have taken, but match it equally with the feelings of honoring. So the way that I would see it is look past that person into that inner child and say, wow, thank you for taking the time to go pick out those flowers, that you gave me. These are I love these kinds of flowers. It's really hard when someone gives you a grocery store bouquet that has nothing in it that you like, but you have to understand that's the action that they gave. And so you give them the action back on the feminine, and then you match the feminine and the masculine back and forth. And number 5 is to have compassion. Have compassion for yourself, for your partner, for this world, because what we're doing, or what we are actually doing at this time, is undoing centuries and millennia of patterns and lineage and ancestral beliefs and action oriented value systems that don't work for us anymore as we're bringing our heart into presence. So, compassion. If you would like some help with this, I'm a coach. This is what I do. And I'm also hyper independent, which is I don't ask for help. And what I'm noticing is that I do need more clients. I had a plethora of clients before Christmas, before the winter breaks, and then they've been just going down like this. So it seems like you've seen me posting, "Hey, by the way, do you want a Chiron reading? Do you want to do coaching? I've got some time open. So if that's something that you want to do, come find me. You'd be the person that I would work with." So I love this. So have a great week, and I will see you on Sunday. Take care. Bye bye.